least in heaven I can skate.
Hey there everyone, welcome back. So my skate shoes are pretty much almost completely destroyed. As you can see, this Etnies shoes just completely falling apart. It's got holes, it's being torn apart. I got this new product on the market called Tuff SRC. It's supposed to be just as good, if not better, than Shoe Goo. So it comes with two parts. One's the base, you basically paint it on, and then you wait for that to dry 12 to 24 hours. And then you put the second coat on, which is synthetic rubber coating, and you paint over top. This shoe already had some on it. It was fabric like so, the canvas, and it made it hard like rubber, and it was actually really good. As you can see, I need to recoat it. So what I'm gonna do is tape the holes, paint over it, and see if we can fix these shoes and make them almost brand new. And since I've been skating lots of switch, as you can see, my toe is completely shredded, and my heel's starting to go as well. So I'm gonna be coating these ones as well. So get a nice up close view of what this shoe looks like before I coat it. As you can see, this thing is basically completely destroyed. Even the bottom I'm gonna coat. Same with the switch foot. This one's not too bad here, but the toe is starting to have a hole in it, and as you can see, look at that angle mark on that rubber. I recommend doing it on some newspaper. You got the base coat and also the top coat. So first you're gonna start with the base coat. It states shake well and allow 24 hours between coats. I know 24 hours is a long time to wait for two products to cure to skate, but if you have a couple off days that you're not gonna skate, this is perfect, and you just keep painting over it after you've done the base coat. So we'll shake it real good. So I waited too long to coat these shoes because now they got holes in them. So what I'm going to try to do and attempt is use a little bit of tape to cover the hole and then do the base coat over, and hopefully it will actually work. Normally you would probably use another piece of canvas or fabric to cover these massive holes, but I don't have any right now, so we're just going to use some tape and hopefully it'll actually work. We'll find out. Honestly, not much I can do for the back of the shoe. I'm actually surprised it started separating like this, other than just gluing it and then pressing it back into place. You're not really skating the back, but for some odd reason it ripped apart. And by the way, fun fact, these were Andy Anderson's old shoes, and he gave them to this company, and they ended up giving me one of his shoes to test out, and yeah, I've just been shredding it. Alright, so the thing is it doesn't need a brush because it comes with a brush, as you can see here. Pretty runny stuff. Gotta mix it up, shake it well. I did pretty good. But all you gotta do is literally just paint it on. Just give it a nice coat. And like I said, use a newspaper because it's gonna drip all over the place. You wanna not, be stingy on it. You wanna add quite a bit. But keep in mind it's going to take a little bit longer for it to dry. So I'm going to coat this shoe, and I'm going to try to actually coat the tape as well, and we'll see if it actually works really well. Just going to cover all the spots that I've already had worn out, and yeah, we'll see how good this works and show you how this stuff works. The company said that it wasn't sure if it would work on the actual white part of the shoe, but and the bottom, but I'm just gonna do it and hopefully it works. Only way to find out is by testing it. So this is, here we go. We'll be putting it over the tape here, and hopefully the tape holds in position, and yeah, it doesn't end up peeling off due to it being kind of liquidy. Very simple, just paint it on and basically wait for it to dry. Like I said, I'm not sure if the tape idea is going to work, but we're just going to do it because I have holes. If not, I'm going to have to get some fabric later and repatch those holes. Kind of waited too long to do this. So any spot that has wear and tear, you just give it a good coat. And this is the base coat, so the actual synthetic rubber can actually stick to it. It doesn't have to be pretty, so just slobber it on and just wait for it to dry. I can already see some of it drying. So yeah, that's good. I can kind of see the tape not sticking as good as I thought it would, but this is the base coat, so maybe when I add the rubber coat on top of it, it might actually just plaster it down. Only way you're gonna find out is by experimenting. So this shoe is completely done for all the parts that I'm actually gonna coat. Maybe a little bit more up here, anywhere that you figure that there's gonna be wear and tear. If you really want, you can also coat your shoelaces a bit so they're a little bit stronger and they don't tear. As you can see, I'm coating the shoelace where it normally rips a bit, and yeah, you just give it a little bit of a slather and it should be good. Now that this shoe is done, I gotta let it sit for 12 to 24 hours before I do the actual rubber coating. So I gotta let that sit to dry, and while that's sitting to dry, I can work on the other shoe. Same thing, just grab a little bit on the paintbrush and paint all the spots that are wearing and tearing. Originally they said they didn't know if it was gonna work on this white rubber spot, so I'm just gonna try it out. Like I said, you won't know unless you test things. So we're going to test this and hopefully it works, and hopefully also this tape holds up. It works really good for the canvas fabric area. Kind of like soaks and absorbs it, and then you put the rubber coating on top. But yeah, I want to try it out on the actual white part because that usually wears and tears pretty good. So just slobber it on. Like I said, I should have probably done this before I got holes in my shoes. When you get brand new shoes, you could do this and then it'll make it last 100 times longer. Because anytime the rubber coating starts to wear, you just add some more and it's another layer to protect your shoes and make them last longer. So like I said, you just grab it and just paint it on like a paintbrush. And it's not that hard. It doesn't have to be pretty unless you want it to. And just slobber it on, get a nice coat. And that's the base for when the synthetic rubber can stick to it. And as you can see, it comes with quite a lot. I did both shoes, the base coat, and there's still tons. It looks like I didn't even touch it. And this one I just finished up, and as you can see, this one is like drying out pretty good. Some of it's already pretty dry, but you want it to cure, and then you add the other layer, which is the top coat, which is actually the synthetic rubber coating. Like I said, this shoe here was actually canvas like this. And once you add the rubber coating, it's like rubber up there. It's actually not like canvas anymore. It changes the shoe. So there you go. Now I gotta wait for both of these to dry out and then later add the rubber coating. So we'll be back in 12 to 24 hours and we'll do the next coat. And hopefully the tape that I put on stays on and the rubber actually can cover it and add another layer, which would be sick.
Alright, so these shoes are done drying, and as you can see, the texture of the suede is now actually pretty hard and crispy. Some of the tape started peeling a little bit, but it's still intact. Both shoes are completely done drying. Now we take the top coat, as you can see here, got to give it a good shake, and then we'll apply this to the base layer. So same thing, it comes with a brush. You want to make sure to have a cover underneath so you don't spill this anywhere, and basically just paint it on over top of the base coat. You just want to slather it on over top. It doesn't have to be perfect, not rocket science. As long as you get enough on, you're good to go. So just keep dabbing in there and just add it over all those places. So anywhere that has the base coat, you just add this synthetic rubber coating now over top, as you can see. And keep in mind, it's going to take about 12 to 24 hours for this to settle too. And like I said, it doesn't have to be pretty because you're going to be skating it. It's going to get ruined anyways. So just add a bunch all over the base coat, everywhere that you already applied. And yeah, then pretty much once you're done, let it dry, and then it's time to go skate. Alright, so as you can see, I am finished the one shoe, just completely coated it all over the base coat, and now I gotta let this sit and dry. And while that's sitting and drying, I'm gonna do the other shoe. So same thing, just kind of dab this in the synthetic rubber and just plaster it on all over. Doesn't have to be pretty. And if you want, after it's done drying, you can add more layers. The more layers you do, obviously the more protection there will be, and it depends on how thick you want it to. You can do a thin coat and it won't take as long to dry and cure, but if you do a thicker coat, then it's going to obviously take longer. And it's not rocket science. Like I said, you just kind of paint it on, cover all those gray base coat areas, and it will harden into a rubber layer, which is really rad. And the more you add on to the shoe, the stronger it gets and the longer it lasts, because this was like a suede and now it's like hard like a rubber. Alright, so there you have it. This one I completely engulfed in the top layer, as you can see. So I did a little bit on the bottom as well. So now all you have to do is just let them sit and dry for 12 to 24 hours, and then once we come back, these shoes, wherever we added the bottom and top layers, should be completely rock hard. Not rock hard, but hard enough, as you can see here, that it's going to be another layer of rubber. So everywhere we covered will be another layer of rubber. So we'll be back in about 12-24 hours, and we'll take a look at them.
Alright, so it's been 24 hours. As you can see, this is hard like rubber now. That's what happens. It used to be like this suede, and now it's like hard rubber. So we're going to test these out, see if the tape actually worked and is going to hold up. Or, yeah, but let's give this a try, and stay tuned for that in the next video. So next video, we're going to test these out and wear them out and see how good it is. Y'all know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.